This is a Professor CBMD PhD, and today is Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. It is 4:49 and 16 seconds, p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today's research, UFO landing. So let's hop to it here. Early in 1961, a private pilot in Texas witnessed an apparent landing of a UFO, and ICAP member Jack Burnell, Knox City, Texas, conducted an extensive investigation into the sighting and the resulting USAF interest. An employee of the Agricultural Stabilization and Conservation Office, he joined the search for the landed object shortly after noon of the day following the sighting and observed proceedings firsthand from then on. January 10, 1961, pilot W.K. Rutledge and Pastor George Thomas, both of Abilene, Texas, were en route to Abilene from Tucson, Oklahoma, at 6,500 feet over Wichita Falls, Texas, about 9 p.m. They spotted a red object about 1,500 feet above, the plane glowing brilliantly in the night sky. Rutledge changed course to follow it at about 180 miles per hour, establishing radio contact with the control tower at Shepherd AFB, Wichita Falls, during the chase. He followed it WSW to Monday, then north to Vera, where several persons on the ground saw it. Then the object moved west-southwest again toward Benjamin, finally turning southwest. When beyond Benjamin, the object began to reduce its speed and altitude, going into a glide and apparently landing 4 to 5 miles southwest of the town in a heavily wooded area. The pilot circled in his single-engine Beech Debonair, while law enforcers altered by radio sped to the scene. Included were Knox Country Sheriff Homer T. Milton, now a Texas Ranger, one of his deputies, and the police chiefs of Knox City. On Monday, Rutledge radioed his position to the Shepherd AFB control tower when he began the circle, and the word was relayed to the converging patrol cars. Poor communication between air and ground hampered Rutledge in his efforts to direct the search cars. At one point, a cruiser driven by Deputy Stone came within 100 yards of the landing spot, but the pilot was unable to direct him closer. During this period, the glow from the UFO, which has been visible to Rutledge on the ground, was diminishing to a dull red. About the time Stone approached it unknowingly and blinked his lights, the glow from the UFO vanished completely. After about 90 minutes of chasing and circling, Rutledge noticed he was running low on fuel and decided to go to Abilene. Next morning, the search was resumed by police, about 20 high school boys, and several other citizens of the area. Despite a cold drizzle, they hunted until 3 p.m., when Rutledge and Thomas flew back from Abilene. Since there was no convenient airport, Rutledge landed on a highway near Benjamin. When they got into town, they were immediately met by USAF Lieutenant McClure and a sergeant. The four retired to a restaurant nearby for the questioning, and ICAP member Jack Burnell listened from the next table. The Air Force officers' opening implications that the object might have been a balloon or meteorite were quickly shortcut by Rutledge's firm statement. What I saw last night was certainly not a meteorite or a weather balloon. He then made it clear that the object came down slowly and did not fall. The lieutenant changed his tone at this point, Burnell reported, and became much more serious and interested. As the interview progressed, the calf began to fill. Since the sighting was by this time the chief topic of conversation in the small Texas town, questions were posed and answers noted for more than a half hour, but the muffled voices were hard to hear in the crowded room. The USAF men expressed an interest in locating the site of the landing, so the group returned to Rutledge Park's airplane. While Jack Burnell and the sheriff stopped traffic, Rutledge, Thomas, and Lieutenant McClure took off from the highway. The sergeant and the enlisted driver of the USAF car drove up. The small plane made 3 or 4 passes over the 1,000-acre tract of Mesquite, where the object had reportedly landed, and then flew off. Contrary to expectations, the other USAF men did not join the ground search party, which broke up about the time the plane departed. Shortly after 5 p.m., the 3 airmen, the pilot, and his companion were seen at a drive-in restaurant near Knox City. Rutledge was observed by Jack Burnell to be filling out what appeared to be the standard USAF technical information sheet with Lieutenant McClure. This video was created for educational purposes only. Codename Will. Professor Christopher Brunette, leader of research, scientist, ufologist, psychic, computer programmer, computer technician, philanthropist, writer, mathematician, artist, photographer, film producer, chef, animal, and nature lover. Passion, world peace. Hope you enjoyed listening. Until next time, have an excellent day.